Hello everybody, what is up? It is me, lukemick here, and this is my review for Godzilla. So Godzilla was a movie that initially, I was really excited for Godzilla. When I found out the news about the cast about a year ago, probably now, I was really excited. Aaron Taylor Johnson was cast in the lead role. Bryan Cranston was going to be in it. Elizabeth Olsen was going to be in it. Ken Watanabe was going to be in it. I was really excited based on the cast. And then the trailer came out, and I got even more excited, and I was like, wow, this is probably going to be pretty good. A lot better than the 1998, I think, Godzilla film that came out, that piece of garbage. And then I saw some of the reviews just about a week ago, and some people, it was getting kind of mixed reviews, generally positive, but with a little bit of, I was just like, okay, I'm going to take my expectations bar, it's up here right now, I'm going to bring it down to about here, and I'm just going to go in to this movie with the mentality that it's going to be really, really bad. So that's how I went into the movie, and now I'm going to tell you guys how I came out of this movie. Now basically, you guys, this is like a reboot, reimagining, remake, and revitalizing of the Godzilla monster franchise. It's made by Americans, it's not made out in Japan, it's mostly just restricted to the US and, the rest of the world. I don't know where I'm going with this conversation, but basically, this movie doesn't have a ton of Godzilla. That's what I'm just going to say. You guys know what this movie is. It's a remake of Godzilla. I'm just going to leave it at that. Aaron Johnson plays a Navy SEAL lieutenant, I believe, who comes back home for like literally 20 minutes, and then he gets a call from Japan saying, hey, your father is going a little crazy, he's been in contaminated zones, we have him under arrest, you have to come pick him up. And his father is played by Bryan Cranston, who is a scientist who knows something weird is happening in Japan. Some earthquakes happened about 17 years ago, and he knows that it wasn't just some natural disaster. He knows that the government, the Japanese government, is hiding something, and he wants to figure it out. So Aaron Johnson and Bryan Cranston, father and son, kind of do a little bit of investigating around in some contaminated area in Japan, and they find some monsters, and they find that the Japanese government is hiding that and trying to tame them and control them, and of course things get a little crazy, and then Godzilla is unleashed, and that's where we are left with the movie. So basically, this movie, this might be a little bit of a spoiler. I actually had no idea about this plot point at all before I went in to see it. But if you guys don't really want to know anything about the movie, then I guess leave this review and watch it later. But there are more monsters than just Godzilla in this movie. There are like these two birds, and a male and a female, and what their goal is to repopulate the earth with their species, and they're basically going to control the earth because they're just they're birds. They're not human. They're not civilized in the way that humans are, and they're just wrecking havoc the whole time. And Godzilla's off in the ocean, like slowly swimming to the coast of California to finally have the big showdown with these birds. That's the whole thing this movie is leading up to, is this big battle between Godzilla and these two birds. But this movie doesn't always focus on Godzilla. It actually focuses a lot on its characters, and that's something that I was really looking forward to with this movie because, like I said, I really like the cast, and I like when movies like this don't always just focus on the big monsters. I actually want to know about some human characters, I want to be attached to them, and I want to feel bad for them when bad things happen to them. The thing is, this movie doesn't do the best job with its characters. The best part about this movie, without a doubt, is Bryan Cranston. He was amazing in this movie, as he is in most movies. I really enjoyed his character. And like I said, Aaron Johnson is in this movie, and if you guys don't know who he is, he plays Kick-Ass, and I think he's really good in the Kick-Ass movies. I really like him as Kick-Ass, so I was really hoping to see him kind of get out to a wider audience with this movie, but his character and the way he acted in this movie, I honestly don't think did the movie justice. Every time an emotional thing would happen to him, or he couldn't see his wife or something, he always had the same blank face and the same blank expressions, and he was just a blank slate. There was nothing to his character, and I didn't think he did a very good job in this movie. There was no worry in his voice, there was no dread when something bad would happen, nothing. I just didn't think that he did a very good job, which is really unfortunate for me to say. And most of the movie actually focuses on him. Like I said, it doesn't really focus much on Godzilla. It focuses more on the characters, and he is the lead character. And honestly, I think that he was a very weak lead character, and that's really disappointing for me to say. Elizabeth Olsen, like I said, is in this movie, and I really like her as an actress, but she really doesn't have a whole lot to do. She expresses a lot of emotion, and like I said, a lot of dread in the movie. I thought she was good, but I don't think that she gets enough screen time. And Ken Watanabe in this movie, I honestly don't think he has a lot to do. He's kind of a Japanese scientist who is monitoring and watching over the whole Godzilla monster situation in Japan. And basically, the whole entire time, he just doesn't, like I said, have a lot to do. He just kind of is like, oh yeah, that's Godzilla. He just gives information the entire time. But the only thing is, he does have some emotional attachment to Godzilla, which that was the most human part of his character, and I enjoyed that. But I just feel like he was a little underused, as was Elizabeth Olsen. Now that's enough about the characters. I focused a lot on them for this review because the movie's a lot about them. Now let's talk about the action and the direction. I think this movie is directed very well, and the cinematography, for the most part, is really, really good. The color tones worked really well, and it had a very filmic look. I really liked the look of this movie, but I think that the lighting in a lot of the parts of this movie was not good. The big battle with Godzilla and the monsters towards the end of the movie, the lighting was really quite bad, and I can understand the context because it was in a lot of dust, it was dark, all the electricity went out, and it was nighttime, but it really kind of was hard to see a lot of the things that were happening. Another thing, though, that I will mention real quick is that the CGI on Godzilla, I'm not a big fan of CG in movies, CGI, but I thought that they did a really good job with Godzilla. He looked pretty realistic. I really liked the way he looked. He looked really tough and badass, and I really liked the character, it's kind of funny to say that, of Godzilla in this movie. I thought that he was really cool, but I don't think that he was in the movie enough. And most people have said this, and I'm going to reinforce this statement. Most of the movie focuses on the other monsters. It doesn't really focus on Godzilla. Like I said, most of the movie, Godzilla is just swimming around in the ocean surrounded by U.S. battleships who are escorting him to California. That's basically what most of this movie is about. Now, it runs in at about 2 hours, and for the most part, it is entertaining, and the whole time, I was really getting pumped up for the final battle at the end, and it was a little underwhelming, to be honest with you guys. I wasn't quite satisfied with the final battle, and I just didn't think the movie was really all that great. I mean, it was good. I thought the CGI was actually really good. The special effects team did a great job, and I liked some of the performances were just really, really good. And Godzilla was cool, but I just don't think they focused on Godzilla enough. And if they would have had better characters, I wouldn't have really cared, because I would have been like, okay, I have an emotional attachment to these characters, and I really want to see what happens to them next. But to be honest with you guys, I really didn't care about Aaron Johnson in this movie. I really hate to say it. I didn't want to not like him going into this movie from things I had already heard, but honestly, he just wasn't that good. So that's my review for Godzilla. I'm going to give it 2.5 out of 5 stars. It's definitely a lot better than some of the other newer Godzilla movies, but overall, it just wasn't as good as I really wanted it to be, and I think most people are in the same boat as me. So, this is lukemick, signing off. Please subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed that review. I've been sick lately, so my throat really hurts when I'm talking to you guys right now, and I really had a lot of words to spit out during this review. But anyways, I'll talk to you guys later.